So on that note, let's start. Let's just you can just start. This is not a very formal session. It's also a session where you can share with us your anxieties. You can share with us if there's any sort of doubts that you have regarding your research question, regarding your research interest, or what this journey is going to be like next 5 years for those of you who plan to do your PhD. So let's start. And Rajashekar, I would request you to introduce yourself as well. Um, Rajashekar.
Yeah, hi, hi all.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I am Rajashekar. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, there was slight difference, but others, can you hear me? Am I
yeah,
audible?
yes.
Hello.
Rajashekar, you are
Yes,
audible.
sir, you are
You can go
audible.
ahead.
Can you hear me? Is my audio clear?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
you
yes,
are audible.
we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, once again, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rajashekar. I am a fifth year PhD research scholar at IIT Delhi. Wait. Let me use my internet. Uh, can you hear? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes. You are
Hello.
audible. Rajashekar, you are audible.
Should I rejoin? If there's any problem, I can rejoin.
There is
Is
no
it clear
problem.
now?
It's just
Uh,
that your video
yeah,
sometimes,
you can
Okay.
speak
but
now.
now it's
Yeah,
stable.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I was just talking to Nikhil. He's still on the plane, so he's not answering my call. So yeah, so I'm in literature unit. So currently I'm working on language and state identities. So and also media studies. So I'm expertise there. I'm training myself at IIT. But I'm very happy to be here again to help you all, assist you in our best possible ways in guiding whichever way you need. So that's all from my side. Others, please introduce yourself in English.
So I would say that let's keep the structure very, direct, and let's not complicate it. So let's just start straight away with your doubts,
Other
individually.
participants, if you are here, just introduce yourself. What are
Right,
you up
right, yeah.
to? And yeah, can you
So
hear
you
me?
can,
Am I audible? I don't know. Nobody is speaking.
no, I'm I'm not. I think there's some internet, connection problems on our ends, and that's why the voice is a bit back and forth. But without what me and Rajshekar really want is that you all should just raise your hands here and start introducing yourself, and then tell us what your doubt or problem is, if any. So let's do that. It's already 4:07 p.m. and that ways we have ample of time to go about it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, myself, I'm Praveen. I'm currently doing my PhD in Chennai, but I'm here in behalf of my friend who is looking forward for IIT Delhi PhD admission. So she wanted to do her PhD on caste psychology, and she would really like to know about how are the faculty there and how would be the process for PhD admissions, the exams and all. Because when I tried for IIT in literature department, I had a conversation with Leonard Dickens, Professor Leonard Dickens, and he told me that the exam would be mostly literature, so that'd be a problem for him to take me up. I'm a scholar of history. I'm doing my PhD in history here. So there is a need for progressive professors to guide the students properly and to provide a very liberal environment for the students to work on interdisciplinary things as well. So, can you please guide me on the professors and the process for PhD admissions, either in literature in humanity session or either in sociology section?
Okay, Praveen, I heard you, and we'll absolutely address your concerns collectively. In that sense, that will help us, because if there's anyone else with a concern like yours, and who's also interested in literature, then we can collectively address it. But we are noting down your concerns. So please, if next participant could also, introduce themselves, that'll be great.
Hi, I'm Ayushi. I have done my master's and I want to pursue a PhD in medical sociology, community health, and my topic is regarding abortion politics and abortion trends in India among the unmarried women and all of that. And my question is also similar to the person who spoke before me. I want to know the admission procedure and the qualifications and everything.
All right, Ayushi. Thank you for that. You did your master's in which subject? Please also specify that.
My master's was in sociology from D school.
All right. Okay. Okay. Who else?
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I did my master's in philosophy from DU, and I'm interested in um, pursuing a topic in social epistemology. My concerns are that I'm a little bit worried whether my question is philosophical enough and also maybe novel enough for the research proposal. Um, because basically, what I want to work on is try and look at what counts as knowledge in India. And I know that's very broad, but I'm just trying to figure out how that would impact my application and if it's a problem that uh, my topic is not restricted to one discipline.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jasmine. So, I think what can be done here is, after Praveen, whoever is here interested in literature or from literature, you can first introduce yourself. So we can first have the, people who are interested in literature introduce themselves. Why I'm doing this is because now I realize that, some of you, of course, we all are coming from different disciplinary backgrounds. So first, Rajashekar can go about the concerns, and then I'll come to Jasmine and Ayushi, both who are interested in sociology and, medical anthropology. So yeah, I think that'll be better. So who else here is, interested in literature, has any
Hi.
concern surrounding
Yes.
literature?
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my name is Anshika Harat, and I'm in my final year of masters and I'm pursuing my masters from Miranda House in English literature itself. And my research is largely about Dalit identities and an intersection of medical humanities. Um, my question was regarding first the admission process itself and how rigorous it is, and second about if my research or my area aligns with the study of any of the professors, and how the um, um, what that procedure is going to be like the assignment of
Right.
professors to us. And I also am looking to do a part-time PhD because I want to start working this year itself. So I was just wanting to know how hectic it's going to be if I do a part-time PhD with working. So that's
Right.
about it. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So, now what I think is that first thing that I should, tell all of you and share with all of you. because a lot of your concerns are regarding also your background and then switching to another background or taking a PhD that is not your core, right? So to give you a little, information about my own, education credentials. So I did my bachelor honors in journalism from DCAC, and then I did my master's from, in sociology from JNU, and now I'm doing again my PhD in sociology. So that switch happened even for me, from my undergrad to my master's, right? And that is, one thing is there, that there's a lot of scope for interdisciplinary studies nowadays, right? So the way we see these disciplinary boundaries, and of course it's more, of course, valuable when you have done your studies in that discipline, but that is not a deterrent as long as you are able to justify and explain yourself. So as long as you are able to make those connections, and ideally, me and Rajshekar, both of us, we wanted to have a PPT as well. And I'm really sorry about it, because ourselves have been in the middle of our, submissions, and it's just very hectic. But verbally also, we are hoping that we are able to solve and tell you as much as we know from our experience being here, within this institute, but also from the experience before that. Before we even entered the PhD program, we also had concerns which are very, very similar like yours, all of them. So it's very natural to have these concerns, first of all, as a student, especially when you have no other avenue who's telling you what's the way forward, how to go about it. These things are not told to us. What we only learn is a very textbook understanding of the world and things, the processual paths of, how to get into an institute, and what is the kind of language the institutes are looking for when they want to take you. All of this is not told to us. So that is exactly why we first thing is to have confidence, in your own research and yourself. While that may be, easier said than done, that also comes with a lot of reading and knowing the major debates. So I am doing an icebreaker here before going into the very technical bits. This is this icebreaker of information. And mostly, because I myself am inspired from, authors and scholars like bell hooks, I'm inspired by Freud and all of that. So I also believe that education is something that must be accessible for all of us, right? And that is exactly why something that I realized very late into my academic journey was that after cracking IIT, I was also thinking that, it was mostly about my passion, what I want to do, and me being able to defend that in front of a committee. Okay. So first and foremost part, that's exactly why I'm coming at confidence and your own belief in your research. So it's something that you're going to do for 5 years. Okay. And this 5 year process is not linear. There are also times when things like a pandemic can break in. Okay. And that these are moments when you are really tested, and you cannot continue reading or engaging with a subject that you yourself are not rooted in that sense, or something that just extends beyond the textbook is important in that sense. But coming to the admission part of it and how to go about it, Praveen, your question about literature, I would urge Rajshekar to,
Yeah.
take that up.
Mm. Hope my audio is clear now. Can you hear me now? Okay. So, yeah, so I just divided these questions into questions related to entrance and the questions related to research PhD proposal and questions related to career at IIT Delhi as an academic career at IIT Delhi. So while addressing each of this, you stop me if you have any questions, and you can like discuss with us. So first, let me we just discussed about this, Praveen. Praveen, you requested for this history and English thing. So, unlike other institutes where we have discipline-specific entries. For example, if you're from English background, then only you can entry, get into PhD in English. I think DU follows this. But in IIT, it's more kind of welcoming if you have from other disciplines. If you have masters and net JRF from other disciplines, you are welcome to appear for English entrance exam. Just that they expect you to have equal knowledge in terms of net JRF or masters. So this is one question that is related to entrance in English. And coming to faculty, if you could tell us your overall idea of your research, then we can help you with the faculty, like whom you are interested to work with and all. So,
Ah,
Praveen, if you're here, you can just, yeah.
can you hear me? Can you hear
Uh,
me?
yeah, you're asking, yeah. Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, my friend wanted to do her PhD on caste psychology. So when
Oh,
it comes to caste
interesting. Okay.
psychology, I am very much familiar with Leonard Dickens, Professor Leonard Dickens in humanities and literature. So he is a progressive and very liberal professor, I heard, and he has done his work on anti-casteism. So
Mm-hmm.
if we are, she did her masters in psychology, and if we have to get a PhD in under him, so we would have to clear a English exam, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Exam entrance exam in English literature. So how does that
Yes.
work? And if it's possible, can we switch from switch the subject in entrance? For example, if she can get a PhD under any professor in sociology, is it possible?
Okay. So this is for your friend, right? It's not your related PhD.
Yeah, yeah,
This is for
yes.
your friend. Okay, fine. So, two questions. I mean, two clear cut answers. One, you said caste and psychology. Okay. So, we actually have two faculties. One is Professor Ishpal. He is in psychology department, and Lenny. I mean, we call him Lenny. So, Professor Lenny, he is very much into caste thing. So now, one important problem that arises with your friend is that she is in, I think, psychology department, right? She's in psychology.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
yes,
department? Yeah.
yes.
So
Psychology.
usually, what happens is that you have to have that knowledge in literature department, and Lenny expects a lot. I mean, you have to have literature department. I mean, what framework you use? Psychology is entirely different, but if you want to work with him, definitely there is a way. One of my colleagues, she joined in 2022, I guess. So she was from JNU. I mean, she did her master's from JNU in political science department, but her topic was related to caste and caste politics and all. So she got admission under his guidance. So that is possible, but just that I mean, all of you should remember, it also depends on faculty's availability and vacancy under their guidance. So if they are not available, I mean, some of the faculties they are on sabbatical leave, and some of them don't have vacancy this time. So it also depends that way. Usually what happens is that there's a general practice that if you're interested to work with particular guide, I mean, when it comes to research, two ways will work. One is you're interested in topic and you're interested in guide. So if you're interested in topic, it doesn't matter whoever you get, like whichever guide you get. But if you're interested to work with one particular guide, like as you're saying, Leonard, so you have to, matlab, your friend, by now she has to approach him and convey it to him ki she is interested to work with him, because faculties also get to know ki who are these scholars who are interested in these caste and psychology and topics. So definitely she should have done that, but that's not a problem. Now that her task is to clear the entrance, and unlike previous batches, now entrance system is little different. I mean, before COVID it was a different situation. After COVID, after 2022, entrance pattern has changed. So now there is, like, for literature there is like two paper you have to do.
MCQ first, then you have to write optional theory paper. So you inform your friend that she should clear entrance, then only whatever research or whatever proposal she's having now can be worked out. So
Uh,
I wish she if she's here, she can also speak. But if next time, if you can just tell her to join so that she can have her own questions. Apart from
Actually,
that,
actually, what
anything
about
else?
the syllabus for the entrances? Like for even for
Yes.
psychology or English or
Okay. Okay.
sociology?
Okay. Before I forget, so your friend actually, you were also saying na, whether there's a chance to change guide. So this works. For example, here both Professor Yashpal and Professor Lenny, both of them work on caste and psychology. And if she's more interested in psychology, then it's better to work with Yashpal after joining. I mean, in order to get her entry into the campus, she should write psychology paper because she's already prepared. I mean, she's already done her masters and net JRF, so she can get that entrance done. Once she's inside the campus, once she is getting this admission, then she can see if there's a possibility to work with Lenny. Okay. So that's my take. I mean, what I saw in recent batches, there are people who joined and now they changed their guides because of some kind of, let's say, so once you are on campus, you will have the say to take your chance. So that is how it goes. Otherwise, before getting in, you cannot just say, "Ki, you did your psychology masters and you're getting into literature." Then in that case, it takes very tough decision for faculty to take you because they are leaving out literature background students in place of yours. So that is how it works. And yeah, coming for this question on entrance thing. So if you can check website, IIT website, there are previous papers available, I guess. So just go check there. You have the previous papers, and syllabus is not clearly mentioned. So it basically depends on the master's background, and you can also ask your friend to go through faculty's profile. It's on the page. It's on IIT HSS page. So you can go through their. I mean, your friend can go through that page and see who all are faculties and what are their expertise. In that way, you will get the questions. So so it includes both previous research. I mean, previous study, that is masters, and faculty's expertise. So you can expect questions from these two places. What else? Anything else? There's
Yeah,
another. Yeah,
Rajshekar,
please
you
go
can
ahead.
also tell them about the PhD admission process, now that you're talking about it.
Yes. So PhD admission process usually. Uh, so you are expected to write entrance. That's one. I mean, after I hope by now you have all submitted your applications because 7th is the last day. So entrance, you are expected to appear for entrance, and then immediately, I think in one or I think immediate next day you will have your interview if your entrance is clearing. So then you will have interview, and there will be, I think, each session will have at least seven faculty members, seven panel members. Then there you have to clear interview. So mostly it depends on what research or what new argument you're bringing in terms of the topic you're getting. Like, for example, here, caste and psychology, it's a well worked out area, but what you're bringing new to the research. So they'll ask this sort of questions. And if you could figure out methodology for that, like usually, if you want to work out methodology, then you should go and read papers related to caste and psychology. So first phase is written, second phase is interview. Once interview is done, then more or less it will take, I think, 1 month to get your results. Once you on campus, I mean, once you get your admission, then you take 1 or 2 months to make a decision to work with this allotted guide, or you want to change. So it entirely depends on that. Anything
Yeah,
else?
and Yeah, so I would like to add to that regarding the IIT Delhi proposal. Okay, so first is the part of your MCQ or your written exam, which has both components. So that is something that is in your hands, and we cannot tell you about that much because that is also decided by faculty. What kind of framing of question papers happen and all of that. But what we can tell you is that you should know the classical debates of your subject that you're interested in. For example, in sociology, in JNU we have a focus of reading theory a lot. So that is something that was an advantage for most JNU students or JNU pass outs or graduates. So we knew the classical debates in that sense. You should know the major text, who wrote what, and even the new ones. So these are very basic things you should already know. You should have the applicability to apply that theoretical framing or understanding to a contemporary problem. Anything that research specifically in the social science domain is looking at, they are looking for candidates who can apply that theoretical knowledge into and translate that into reading real life world problems. So this is something that you should not be hesitant about applying that knowledge to a problem or writing it that ways. Second is coming to the interview part. Okay, now the interview thing is that what there's an entire committee that will be seated. That committee will vote collectively for the candidate they like. So it's not like one supervisor likes you and they will take you. That's not the IIT system. The IIT system is actually looking at a candidate from various perspectives. They are looking at your educational background. They're looking at your percentage, master's percentage. That is very crucial. Okay, that is another factor. So if you have like 40 or 50% in your master's, it's very unlikely that you will make it. I'm sorry to say this, but this is the harsh reality. Okay, then second is but of course that doesn't mean that one should not try. There are also cases when someone is so good in their interview that the faculty can decide to overpower that factor. So these are things that are not, they do not have a fixed rule in that sense. But why they don't have a fixed rule is because it all depends on your performance. When you perform that is expected of you, and that performance is that how well you speak. It's your language, it's your reasoning, your logical argumentation as well, and your confidence. The most important that I keep circling back to,
Confidence.
that
Hmm.
for example, when I entered IIT Delhi, I chose my research question was looking at Dalit women's contemporary feminist articulation. And that was my research question because there is historically we all know that systematically Dalit women have not featured in the women's movement in India, right? So this is something that everyone already knows. That made my question relevant in that sense, that there was already an historical erasure of a certain group, and that gave more power to my research question, right? So I'm telling you now, after the interview level, once you're done speaking about it, what kind of things are asked in the interview. So I've already told you about my topic. So they asked me why this question, why focus on Dalit women, why do they matter, things like that. So I was able to speak because I've been rooted in that tradition as well. I know the kind of erasure, the kind of systemic exclusion that happens, and not just experiential, theoretical as well, right? So how many readings of Dalit women I've read since childhood? How many have actually written about their lives? So apart from autobiographies, how many major debates, feminist debates, let's say Sharmila Regge or Nivedita Menon, Mary Joan, they talk about intersectionality, but how many are actually Dalit women talking about their own lives? So there's a criticality that I was talking with. It was there that it's not necessarily that the committee will like this or will agree with your research, but you need to have that trust in what you are saying because you have read things, you have been in an institute, you are all, know about your topic. That's why I was coming here. Second is second thing, they also a reading. So they asked me, tell me about Badri Narayan's work, suddenly out of nowhere. Okay. So I was able to, I think, answer like four authors' work who I've read, out of which one author I was struggling to remember. That was also the time COVID had broke and I had lost someone, but that's another story. So I was very honest in saying that I don't remember it right now. Okay. Rather than fumbling and going around, beating around the bush and not being able to answer, you be upfront and direct about what you know and what you are not able to know. You acknowledging your own limitations in a very confident manner also tells the committee of a very important trait that is needed of anyone in any industry, and that is your ability to take accountability for yourself, and you being able to give that out to the committee as well. So that is one thing, but it is very important that you should know all the work, because the committee will ask you questions based on any random text. So go and find out as many texts, read them, engage with them, at least know the basics about those texts if they are catering to your work specifically. Okay. And then that was my interview for 15 rounds. It went about on and on, and I was also twice I was asked the same question, that what new does this bring to the table. Okay. And that is your moment to tell you about the contribution that Rajashekar was talking about. So we all know that Dalit feminism is already there. There is a conversation about it. You might have your interest in medical anthropology, or it's something that caters to social epistemology. So one thing about research is that a lot of theorists in the past have already said what we all are saying,
Yeah.
okay, or we are continuously saying. So at a time in your research, you do realize, you think this is my idea and I'm a genius, but no, that thing has already been said by someone. But what's important to see is that how you frame it. Okay. So there's a lot of wordplay that academia is about. If you're able to crack into that wordplay, it's mostly like you present that thing, but it's your style of saying it differently. It's your way, it's your academic grasping of a theory, it's your academic passion to also have your own theory. Okay. So 5 years onto the field now, I have my own theoretical frames that I'm inventing right now. And 4 years back, when I entered IT Delhi, I was able to justify my topic, and I was telling the committee that this is the new frames that I'm interested to develop, but I did not know how to develop. You are just a research, you're someone who's only entering a PhD. So don't think that you should know everything. No, you're not supposed to know everything. You're supposed to know the basics, and you should know the way to defend your work. That is important. Second thing, we now, this is something that I told you from my interview, which was from sociology. Okay. So Rajshekar can tell you about his interview from literature. Rajshekar, if you can just give some brief idea
Yes,
of how the interview
yes,
went,
yes.
what
So
all.
you usually like whatever Chanel has discussed, it's clear. But there is also another level where I mean, what interview panel will be interested is your thesis. If you have master's thesis, so I think in application they will ask your master thesis copy or title or brief abstract of your thesis. So they will ask questions from there, because research is all about whether you have a prior training of what you're interested in. Like, for example, most of us, we did our master thesis and we are extending the same work for our PhD. So that is how it starts. So they check once you have a thesis, then they'll ask questions. Okay, what all frameworks you used, or what is your outcome of your MA master thesis, and what would you like to continue in your PhD? And there will be a question like, what will be the outcome of your PhD? And most of us are very excited to give outcome right away in the interview, where you are not even entering the admission process. So outcome is not the end point. We should never discuss outcomes. When if there is any question, you say it will be decided once I get the data, or once read it more. So it will be in a process. You'll not get right away before the interview or during the interview. You talk about your contribution, you talk about your method. These are only two things you will address in your interview. If there is any question, if they ask about outcomes, you should say it will be in the process, it will come during my PhD. You cannot decide outcome before. I mean, if you know the result before and then work, there's no process of research there. Okay, that's one. So secondly, research papers. Usually faculties appreciate if you have any attempt to publish any, like, even if it is a peer reviewed or normal journals. You should have the idea of publishing, or you should have the idea of contributing on whatever you have written. You have that, let's say, idea of publishing, and what have you done. If you have published, then there will be questions from your publications. So these two will play a major role for your interview. So I'm sorry, I'm not able to read questions in the chat box. If somebody can read
So
out, please, it will be very
I, I
helpful.
I can read out. So
Yeah.
someone is asking, Jasmine is asking, would you be open to sharing your research proposals for reference purposes? And
Okay.
then second
So this
question is,
is
I do not. Second question is, I do not have master thesis. Will that affect my application? So that is something that I can answer, because in JNU we don't have a master's thesis,
true, 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 true.
and
Yeah.
so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in
Go
that sense,
ahead.
I don't think if your percentage is there, you have a percentage, and you have fared well in your grades, and you have a strong research proposal. I do not think that will affect your application, to be honest.
Yes,
And as
yes.
well, what Rajashekar said, that you have already shown your interest in publishing. So for example, I already had an article at Feminism in India website before I entered even my PhD. So that showed the committee that I'm already someone who's interested in writing on this subject, and I'm already contributing to knowledge production. So it's something that it puts you apart already. Like Rajshekar was saying, it already puts you apart, because you're already one step ahead from other candidates
Others.
in that sense.
True, true.
Yeah.
Yes. So regarding PhD proposal, it's unlikely that usually we share our proposals. But what we can do is, if you are okay to share your proposal, we can help you with that. Like, what is missing in your proposal, what can be done. I mean, sharing proposals will lead to some kind of ethical problems. It might. I mean, because we have not submitted our thesis, so it is not a good practice. But I understand your concern. We were also like you, looking for some sort of format, how we should prepare a proposal. But nowadays, I mean, you have internet, so just you get there and you write something. Even if it is, let's say, 1 page, 2 page thing, you can reach out to us, write to us. We are happy to help you there. And secondly, there is one thing I missed out, that is conferences. So research papers take time, like you have to publish and all, that will take time. But conferences from your field, if you're attending conferences, if you're presenting something in conferences, that will also add up to your greater chance of getting accepted. So that is one thing I just missed out. So your thesis, your papers, your conferences. I mean, what they check is like, okay, everybody will have 70 percentage of masters. In your masters, you will have 70 percentage. Everybody will have net. So how do you stand out as an extraordinary candidate based on these things? So one is your interview. Definitely your interview. If you're very confident in your interview, answering all the questions and being genuine, you will get there. And how it differs based on these thesis papers, conferences, or some kind of idea that you're already there. Or you should not say कि अभी मुझे पता नहीं, I don't know anything about it, I'm just starting. So that case they'll say okay, take your time, go get to know what you want to do, and then come back. So that is how it works. And there was a question about Dalit identity and medical humanities. I forgot your name, sorry. But yeah, you have a greater chance. I mean, we do have a faculty. I mean, in fact, we have some colleagues of ours. They are working on medical humanities. I think from
Nehmat,
sociology department, even
Nehmat
sociology,
Chadha.
yeah, Nehmat. So yeah, medical
So
humanities
yeah,
definitely. Yeah, medical
yeah,
humanities and Dalit. It's a good combination. I mean, I can see this what's coming. I mean, what can be done here. So there is a chance you try. And I heard that you are from Merinda. I think Merinda, right? Merinda. So you are already getting
Miranda.
training there, Merinda House. So you're already getting training there. I mean, just work out your proposal. Reach out to us if you need any help there. We will definitely help you. So apart from this, anything else you want to
Yeah, I
Thank you
please
like
so
to
much.
add.
discuss.
So,
Uh,
I had a question. Does our research gap needs to be worked out in our proposal itself?
No, no, no. So you should mention what is the research gap. You should mention,
Okay.
like, if, like, for example, let me just vaguely understand Dalit and medical humanities. For example, how medicine, I mean, healthcare basically, how healthcare services reach Dalit. I mean, how much time, or how what costs healthcare services to Dalit works, and what to get healthcare on time. So if that is the case, you find the gap. Okay, where is the problem? And so I hope all of you know this WH questions, right? What, where, why, when, how. So you should address all these questions. Who are Dalit? Why medical humanities? What is happening with medical humanities and Dalit? How it can be done? So you should all you should have all these questions, and you should pose them in your interview. You should not answer them. Remember, PhD admission is not for answering. PhD is for answering. I mean, after 5 years, you answer these questions. Now you should have concrete questions, that what is the gap and how I'm addressing it, and what are the frameworks, methods I'm using. That is how it goes. Channel, can you read if questions if there are any?
Yeah, so I would also like to add to Jasmine and Anshika, right? And Ayushi also. So Ayushi also raised a concern that she's interested in medical sociology, in abortion of an unmarried woman, I think. So Ayushi and Anshika, both of you, we have professors like Richa Kumar, who are working on medical anthropology. So you can see their profile, Professor Richa's profile, because Professor Richa has one student who's doing her research on, women in bead, who go through hysterectomies, and you can look at that, or you can try reaching out to Nehmat, maybe Nehmat Chadda, who's working under Professor Richa, if she wants to, or if she is free to help you. So you can reach out to Nehmat Chadda. There's also Aishwarya Chandran. She's also working on, she's working on, surrogate, yeah, surrogacy, and the
Correct.
politics of
Yes.
surrogacy in India. So she's also taken sociology under Professor Mahua Bandyopadhyay. So you can see that there's clearly a scope, and medical anthropology is a field that is quite emerging now, in social
True.
sciences, and there's a wide scope for it. You can see that. Rest at PhD admission process, Rajashekar has already clarified. Regarding your concern about the part-time PhD, if it's going to be hectic, so there's, even in full-time, there's a certain degree of flexibility that one has during the PhD, at least after you're done with your coursework. That is the initial 2 years. So, this I'm talking about full time. But even in full time, we have some flexibility of time to ourselves, how we decide when we study and all that. That's just how PhD is. It is, however, hectic. But when it comes to part time, it's still lesser hectic. So I don't think the question of it being hectic is also dependent upon the kind of work you do. So if you're talking about having some time, you absolutely need to keep apart some time for your studies and for publications, because in every 6 months at IIT we have to update and show the committee our work in progress. So if you're not able to show your work in progress every 6 months, then you are given a grade of unsatisfactory at IIT Delhi. Okay. And if you get two consecutive unsatisfactory, then you are out of the PhD itself, program itself. So I'm just telling you a very heads up the real picture, in case you know about these things and processes that exist to keep check on students and their progress, because you're also talking about taking a part-time PhD. But there are many in our department who are doing a part-time PhD. It's just that it takes a longer time. So already a normal PhD takes 5 to 6 years, but in part-time it can extend up to 7 to 8 years also. So you have to know about all of this, the kind of time you're ready to invest in a PhD.
Okay.
Next
Mm.
is Jasmine. Jasmine, yeah. You may add. Sorry, Rajashekar. Huh?
No, okay. So before you continue, so I didn't talk about career at IIT Delhi. So the problem is like you have to have a full-fledged 2 years occupied for research, uh, because there's a phase where you will get place of candidate to scholar. So before our comprehensive exam, there is a exam called comprehensive, which happens after your coursework. So there you are expected to clear it again the same process. You have to write and you have to clear your viva. Then you will get your presentation. After that, you will be finally called a PhD scholar. So this comprehensive exam, for that all of our faculties, they emphasize us that we are not engaged with any other work. Like most of the time what happens is that PhD scholars, they have other works like UPSC, a competitive exam, teaching, other responsibilities, which are very much accepted. But at the same time, our faculties are concerned that before 2 years, before this comprehensive exam, you are expected to give full-fledged attention to the PhD. That's one. And secondly, unlike other universities, IIT expects you to work irrespective of your JRF or NET. So usually what happens in some universities, if you are a JRF scholar, you will be given exemption from teaching. There is a teaching task, like we are teaching assistants for our guide supervisors. I mean, there's a pattern that we have to teach. We have to take classes, tutorials or extension classes, in absence our guides or whatever way. But every semester we are assigned TA duties, teaching assistant duties. And there is some work hours. I think I remember 8 hours per week. I think 8 hours per week is expected. But the
Yeah, Parul, I think you can ask your question.
Parul, please ask your question. I think Rajshekar has some network issue. Okay, I think Parul is also not around. Anyone else? Questions? There are some here. So there is one. Someone is asking, do they give preference to gate qualified candidates? Of course. I mean, there is. It's not like preference in that sense. It's more like uh for example, you all have baskets, and who has more fruits in their baskets. So if you've cleared your net, if you've cleared gate exam, obviously that puts you ahead of other candidates. That's for sure. And another question is, I have done my master's in social work from TIS. I want to do research in the archival of tribal art and culture through indigenous entrepreneurship. Should I be applying under CRDT or humanities and social department? So the thing is, Parul, you're muted. Still can't hear you, Parul. I think you should just post your question since we are not able to like hear you.
Can you
Just post it.
come back? Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear?
yeah, yeah,
Hello.
Rajashekar, you're audible.
So,
You're
yeah,
audible.
TA duty is expected in every semester. Every semester. So, mostly first semesters and last semesters, that means semester 1 and semester 10, these scholars are given exemption because first semesters are, just starting their course and they're very occupied with the coursework morning to evening. So, therefore, they might get some exemption. And the final years, they are writing the chapters, so they might get exemption. Apart from that, you are expected to do TA duties. And alongside, I think WIP, as Shannon already discussed, so every 6 months you are expected to give progress. So present your work every 6 months. So even if you are a part-time student,
Yeah.
still expected to present your work. So that's there. Uh, Apart from that, any questions?
Yeah. So there are many questions.
If you
One is
have,
that one question is asking, does the section on thesis title in the application mean master's thesis? And I think what we were asked is that what is the title of your proposed doctoral research as a question. So
so
if they're
yeah,
asking you what is the title of the thesis, that means the title of the thesis that you will be writing, not your master's thesis,
no,
right?
let me correct this. Let me correct this. So
That's
there will
what I think.
no, because we've gone through the
Okay, okay.
form.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's when you say if it starts something like regarding your master thesis, and under that you'll have other column saying thesis title, thesis methodology. If there is section like that, it is related to your master thesis. But before you get there, if you have something like direct thesis title, then that is PhD thesis title. And always remember, this is tentative, it's not fixed. So even if somebody asks you, it's still tentative. You are open to change until your comprehensive exam. You're open to change entire your proposal, your work, your supervisor, everything is tentative before you complete your 2 years. So everything is tentative. Before 2 years you have chance to change anything you want, but once comprehensive is done, then it is very difficult to change. uh, in minor, in some exceptional cases, they might accept it. So that's there. And one more important thing I would like to tell you is that this is maybe off record, but uh, people usually, you are under surveillance. Remember that we are not expected to go out of Delhi. I mean, for example, we are on campus now. So usually other university scholars in JNU, DU, once their coursework is done, they can go elsewhere, work or do their projects while writing their chapters. But in IIT, you are always monitored. Where are you? Where are you going? And all. In case if you are leaving Delhi, you have to report. You have to report, and there is attendance policy. Uh, it was worse when we were in our first to third years. Recently, it got changed. We fought for it to get it changed. So declaration, attendance declaration that we are on campus, we are coming to campus regularly, and we have to get signatures from our guides. So it's more of academic rigor, but still there is a way that you have to follow this. There's no escape. Once you join, people think that okay, I can focus on other things. So you have to manage these things. Channel, you can read questions and I can answer them.
Yeah,
And if I
so
don't know, you
so
can answer.
let's there's one question by Divanshi, and she's asking what parts of the proposal need to be worked out in a more detailed manner because we read a lot of literature. Also, what needs to be included in the statement of purpose because the purpose has to be really concise. How do you indicate the existing literature?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I think what I can
Yeah.
tell them is
So
okay. So I'll just I think Rajshekar, we can address, what parts of the proposal need to be worked out in a more detailed manner.
Correct, correct. So,
First, that, yeah.
yes. During our time, there was a section of novelty of your work. I don't know whether it's still there. So there's a section where you should mention your novelty. So that is very important, and methodology, novelty methodology. And remember your questions. I mean, interview questions comes from references you mention. So don't. People give more references, like they go for 20, 30 references, which will actually land you in a very tough situation. You have to answer all of them. If you know all of them, then right. Otherwise, 10 to 15 is fine. Don't go beyond that if you're not confident. 10 is fine, 15 is fine. But if you go beyond that, then make sure that you are perfectly, confident of addressing all the references. Reference is important. And make sure uh, all disciplines have different referencing style. Like, for example, literature follow MLA. I think sociology follow APA.
Yeah.
APA.
Yeah.
So
Chicago. Yeah.
make sure whichever reference, yeah, make sure you follow that in your proposal. That shows that you have an idea. You have an idea of what proposal looks like. Okay. Anything? What was the second question? I forgot.
Yeah. So I would also add to that. First thing is that you should write an abstract of your proposal. Okay. That gives a good sense to the committee that you have a very short abstract telling the committee what the this thing is about. Now I don't know if they ask for a separate abstract or there's a question for it, but during our time there was a question which said write a short abstract describing a proposed research, and in that very few 3 or 4 lines you should introduce and tell the reader about your research, okay, and why it's important. Third is that they asked me during that time briefly discuss the objectives of your proposed research. Now again, you don't have much words. Remember that with few words you should be able to explain the objectives of your research. Be make them concise, make them direct. Focus on the category of words and terminologies you're focusing, okay. So don't put in like too many words. Don't be like I want to focus on XYZ, three things or three people, communities. That makes it very confusing, okay. Make it concise. This is my target group. These are the people. This is how many interviews I'm targeting. This is the kind of way you go about writing a research proposal, okay. Then there was one question about discuss 1 or 2 questions that that are integral to your research. Now that is something very important, okay. So frame the research questions properly. Then coming to the fifth, which was, now, that time they asked us who are the 2 authors who have inspired your, proposal or understanding the most. So this is your time to actually show the committee that these are the authors that I'm looking at. And when you do that, the committee also gets a sense of where you want to go and what kind of work you want to do. So, and then finally, it also comes at what are the gaps your research it aims to fulfill. That what are the theoretical contributions, okay, and the method part. Like I said, that be clear about your method, which Rajshekar also said that if it's mixed method, if it's just ethnography, is it auto ethnography? What kind of sample design are you going to follow? And what is your understanding of reflexivity? For example, in sociology, we ask this question in every interview, or they ask us, sorry, not we, I mean they ask us that what is your understanding of reflexivity. So I have already listed the paths which should be clear for you, and you should work on them. I've given you the idea, me and Rajshekar, both of them. Coming to statement of purpose is not entirely about literature. Statement of purpose is about you, okay, and who you are and why you want to do this. It's about you, your life story. So it also links to the literature, but not entirely. it tells the reader that, I'm interested in this, but it always starts with a backstory, why you got interested in this. So remember that a statement of purpose is a statement about you. It's not entirely about your research. This is the only part where you can tell the committee about yourself. Rest of the parts, it's all theory, it's all your domain. Okay. And any other question? Does the section on thesis title, we've already addressed that. Rajshekar, I'll read more questions. Wait. So one is that how a candidate for part-time PhD, wait, yeah, so sorry. This person asked that Swarna asked, I want to do my research in archiving of tribal art and culture through indigenous entrepreneurship. She's asking if she should apply under CRDT or Humanities and Social Sciences Department. Whether it should be CRDT or Humanities and Social Sciences Department. And if you
Oh,
could suggest any faculty working on these areas at IIT Delhi.
as of now, archival work is not there. I mean, so far in my understanding, so archival work is not there. But if you are having critical, let's say, questions about archives, for example, one of our colleague, she's working on partition studies, and she's referring to archives. Okay, partition studies, like she's, I think, what her name, but she's working on partition studies and she's referring them. But if your study itself is archival study, then I think you just better explore other options that you were mentioning. I'm not aware of that department, but if there is option, that here it's properly already mentioned topics. You go through the profile of faculties, you will get to know what is their expertise, and how you can get admission here. Also, before I forget, you have to read these people, I mean, these faculties papers. They're all, you can just google them, on Google Scholar. You'll get these papers. Read their work, read their interest. That then when you are in an interview, you can impress them with the same methodology. You followed their questions. You also understand what they are critically working on. This is how it works. I mean, there is someone else who was asking questions. I didn't get those questions. Nikhila, is it Nikhila or Ninalika? Is it Ninalika? Can you read all the questions? If you are
Yeah,
not
yeah.
addressing, you
Sorry,
can directly.
which question are you?
If you are not addressing, you can directly stop us and speak, so that we'll address it. Yes. I
Yeah,
mean, one more thing. Next time, I mean, we can have one more session. We could have done this much before, because all of you are yet to submit your proposals. So maybe I would request organizers next time, if we can have this sort of meetings at least 2 weeks before the deadline. That will give our participants a time to
yeah,
rework just tomorrow one day, and Monday is the last day. So if you can do this workshop like this uh, much before, so that we can address them. And perhaps if you have already projects or already some pattern of your thesis, you can send us, so that we can address them. I mean, we can address one-on-one questions that way.
yeah.
Channel all
Uh,
the questions, not all the
can you
questions.
hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just trying to type the question first. So, yeah, I have done my master's in sociology, and my area of interest is home and belonging in Jharkhand, where I'm studying the white collar Bihari migrant community in Jharkhand and how they see Jharkhand and how state formation has affected their understanding of belongingness. So, I identified Dr. Farhana Ibrahim from the sociology department as somebody who has worked on state formation. But two things, could both of you maybe suggest if there's some other faculty who could touch upon this topic? And I don't know how the interdisciplinary angle comes here, but anybody in some other discipline could also, who could help me in this topic. And could you also connect me or tell me about somebody in the department, some in your network, who's working on migration, internal migration?
and if I could connect with them, because it makes the whole process much easier. Thank you.
Okay, I can address the question. So apart from gender point of view, rest everything, your state formation, migration, uh, and social identities. So my work is mostly related to this topic. I'm also working on same pattern. I'm working on how Hyderabad as a nation, as a state, became a city, and what it takes to have a separate state based on language itself. So my work is in this framework. Now I think Professor Farana is a good to go person. Others might not have that expertise, so if you are already reading her work, you better expect to work with her, though other faculties, other sociology faculties might be interested, but they cannot give that expertise or that great help to your work. So it's always better to choose person who is already working in that area. So I think her expertise is also there in borderland issues. So it's good to have Farona in your committee as a guide. That is my suggestion. And if you already have some publications or some sort of previous work done in the same way, in the same area, definitely you have a scope. That's there. Others, please ask questions. I am not able to read questions. I think
And
Shainal
just
has
one more
already
thing,
left or what?
Rajashekar. You said that we could connect with you, or like, since you said you have worked in this area, how do I do that? Can you guys put down your emails so that, because I mean, everybody doesn't get
Maybe.
to respond on LinkedIn.
Okay, okay. I can share my email ID here. Okay, I'll do that.
So the thing is that someone asked, okay, my research, Arjun is asking, my research proposal focuses on circular economy, environmental policy implementation in India, and socio-political analysis of sustainable development. My proposal specifically addresses these themes and the interconnection. Since these research areas overlap with multiple departments, humanities, public policy, management, would it be, which is the most appropriate department for me to apply to? What factors should I consider when choosing between these departments to best support my proposed research? Circular economy, environmental policy, so socio-political
Okay,
analysis of sustainable development.
okay. So if I may ask, is this research in like is this researcher interested in economics or policy making?
So
Because
he
we
has written three things: policy, also circular economy, sustainable development. But from what I think, reading his message, this is mostly focused on economy and development.
okay, so we have economics department and we have faculty here. So what's the problem? Question so clear, hai na? He's working on it. So what's his
Yeah,
question?
his questions is कौन से department में I should apply for my.
So there is separate, I think, policy department. We have different department. I think policy department is also there. There you can apply. But when you talk about economics, then we do have economics and we have a great faculty here. Definitely try. You can try in both the departments, I guess.
So the thing is that you all should know that deciding a department and faculty is important. So if
Hmm.
you're, let's say you are confused about which department should I go with my my topic, you should see the kind of difference there is with the same kind of engagement these departments have with the same topic. For example, if you see how sociologists engage with education is very different from how public policy engages with education. And then you go and read the papers, read any random paper, or even economists dealing with education. This is just an example. Now you want to see which kind of reading or text you want to see your work in. That is how you know where you want to go, so when I read feminist literature, I know this is the kind of literature my work revolves around, and this is the kind of thing I want to work in, so I'll be going there. There are people who want to work on entrepreneurship. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it's very clear that you are working under management. You should go into the management department. That is where the quantitative methodologies thrive. It's not in sociology so much. That's what I'm telling you. So if you're more focused for qualitative research, ethnographies, autoethnography, your place is actually in sociology or in humanities. But if it's more on the quantitative side of things, then think about it. Be clear about these differences when you're applying, and in the end it's you who decides. We can only tell you about these differences, but we cannot tell you that, oh, we think management is best for you. No, we can't do that. You
Shainal,
have to do your own thinking. Yeah.
let's continue with the questions. There are a lot of questions. Let's take one minute and address one each question because people
I
might get
think
disappointed.
it's done almost. Yeah, it's done. We don't have any other question.
They're saying I'm an undergraduate student from IGNOU. Can I do my master's in physics?
Oh yeah, only one is, sorry, I missed Amit's
Also,
question. Sorry, Amit.
Madhav, kindly address my very first question.
Oh
Nihalika,
God.
can you please if you are here? There are new messages
Yeah, we are
coming.
really sorry. Actually, we are doing our best to read as many, but it just so many are there. Just a second.
This question, Virender, it's like how a candidate of a part-time no, so there is no preference. I mean, people definitely appreciate your work, not your mode of PhD, whether you're part-time or full-time. So what happens is that people who take full-time entry, and if they want to convert it to part-time, that is also possible. Like you take full-time entry, and you say that you have a job to do, and you don't get fellowship. It's as simple as that. You will not get fellowship if you are converting it to part-time. So it is doable. So there's no problem. If you are not sure that part-time, if I'm taking part-time admission and there's a less chance I'll get approval, then try for full-time. And then after your coursework or during your coursework, you convey it to them that you want to convert it to part-time. Next, is the written exam mandatory for JRF? Yes, irrespective of which qualification like GATE, NET, JRF, entrance is common. You have to clear both the entrances. I mean, as in interview and entrance exam. Sorry, I think I missed the. I don't know what is Jasmine.
So, what is the scope of for political science
Might
students
receive
at
couple
an
of
IIT? Which department do they
one
apply for in law and public policy?
public policy. There is an entire department. Public policy department is there. That is not our department. Please check their website. We are having limited knowledge there. What work is appreciated there. So there's a question. Do we have to submit entire proposal? Yes. So it's not just abstract. You have to send your proposal. Abstract is just one page. So it is very difficult to understand what planning to do in one page. You have to send entire proposal. It says introduction, literature review, methodology, and how do you approach, and main questions, hypothesis, references, all these matter. Next, I'm an undergraduate student. Okay, this is done. What else? Can
There
you
is
can
one
you read?
question which is
Undergraduate
asking
student,
that
it's done.
how a candidate for oh,
How?
you already addressed this, but there
Uh,
is someone who has also written, do we, just a second, it is a question by
let me.
Jasmine, that how much attention they pay to the research proposal for qualifying for the written exam.
So for written exam, they don't focus it. Your proposal and everything will be checked after you
Rajashekar, your network.
written exam.
Rashikar, we completely lost you.
Yeah. So I'll just continue answering until Rajashekar comes back. So it says, do we get automatically called for the entrance exam when we submit the application? Yes, of course. Once you've cleared the entrance exam, then you sorry, once you submit the application, you will be called for the entrance exam. And how, when, what time, these are logistics that faculty has with them. So we are also here in our final year, but there are more questions. Amit, regarding your question, if you can do your masters in physics from IIT Delhi, what kind of documents are required? All of this is there on the website. When you go to the website, it's written what the procedure is. So these are things that you can do yourself, but if you can do your masters in physics, if you have prepared for that, defend your own knowledge in that domain, that why not? It doesn't matter where you did your masters or undergrad from, BA from, as long as you are able to clear the exam well. Okay, so physics itself has another, you know but I think this is IIT does not have a gate exam for physics. There is an IIT G that you have to crack, as far as I know. Isn't it, Rajshekar? Okay, I think Rajshekar is not able to answer, but I'm not sure regarding physics and its logistics. From what I know, to enter IIT Delhi and do physics, you have to clear IIT GE. Without that, I don't know how you can do masters in physics. And last is Isha, who's asking, the application form has only asked for SOP and thesis of qualifying degree and not research proposal at this stage. No, this is your research. I don't think it's your m- thesis, SOP of your thesis. I think it's the SOP that you want to you're defending your self in to do a PhD in IIT Delhi itself. It's not your uh past this thing, but then again, this is what happened during our time. So yeah, that is what it is. But Rajshekar could have clarified also. It is mentioned that thesis abstract of masters. Then, if it's mentioned, then obviously you submit that.
No, one question is that if whether you can do masters in physics. So for physics, I think you need to have gate. You need to
Right.
have gate. So unlike humanities department will have their own entrance. Now they are starting MSc psychology, MSc economics, and MA program in cultural thought and society. So there is an entrance exam for masters in humanities, but for physics you have to have gate, I think, and it's not MSc, it's called MTech. So for PG it's MTech.
Yeah.
So physics, it's MTech. So if you do, you can just check with your seniors. It's IIT. There's no
Try
MA.
for
I
JAM
mean,
as
there's no
well.
master's program. We call.
Yeah, for
Hmm?
MSc there is a JAM. They can apply for JAM
Oh,
as
jam. Oh, sorry. Then in that case, I have to. I can coordinate with my colleagues in MSc. I mean, physics thing. So obviously, but you should clear those entrance and you can join. So it doesn't matter whether you are from IGNU or JNU, IIT, mean, any other central universities. You have to clear the necessary qualifications. What else? I'm not
So this,
reading
so
it
there's
is
a
mentioned
last
that it's.
uh Rajshekar, if you
Oh,
can
okay.
address this
Wait.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Isha Fule's thing, the application form has only asked for SOP and thesis of qualifying degree, master's, MPhil, and not research proposal at this stage, right? So during my
Okay.
time, they asked for
Exactly.
your direct
Exactly.
SOP. But I
Correct. Correct.
want
So
to tell
as I
you that I want to waited for you to clarify this as well.
yeah. So yeah, as I told you, every time they change in admission process. So during our time when we were exploring options, it was different, and now it is different. So why I'm telling you people to have your proposal ready instead of just abstract, because you can write your abstract from your proposal. but writing abstract first, then writing proposal will take time. So have your larger picture of your argument, then you can precise it and say this is my abstract. Okay. And in admission, if they are mentioning something like it is mentioned that my thesis abstract of the master. So master abstracts they'll ask master's abstract because they want to know whether you are already working in that area before, or you are entering into a new work. For example, I was working on media, and then I'm entering into literature department, and I'm saying, okay, I'm working on state identity and media, not just state identity. If I just say I am working on state identity, then there's this shift in my research. Then there's a question like, why are you shifting from media to state identity? Therefore, I have to center that I'm not just interested in media, but also state identity. Okay. Any other questions if you are missing, because there's some internet connection problem and I'm logging in again
No,
and again.
I think we have addressed all of them. The only question left is what is the scope of
Yeah.
political science students at an IIT? Not to brag, but
Yes.
the brand of IIT itself gives you a lot of resources, in that sense. So it doesn't matter what kind of scope you're looking at in terms of job. We know how the job market is, okay, and not just for political science, for anyone who is doing a PhD in social sciences. The number of vacancies that are there in due universities, and the kind of system we thrive in right now, which also runs a lot on approach based system also. And the limited seat vacancies that are there, that sometimes they are filled, sometimes they're also not left unfilled. So in this so much of competition around, you also need to see that this scope that we talk about so much, it also depends on your own engagement as well. So let's say tomorrow, if we are not able to get a professorship, what kind of other avenues can you think about with that degree and knowledge? Let's say political science. You can be a political commentator, someone who works in the freelance industry, things like that. But these are harsh realities that you should think about when you think about the scope of any subject. But the scope also lies in the fact how well you are able, or your knowledge is able to impact people or communities. So it's not always about getting a job in that sense also. Which department you should apply for? Public policy, of course, has, like I said, go and read text, engage with the faculty and their work, understand the difference, and then you decide where you want to apply. We cannot tell you like in that sense, but what I can tell you is that there are many people who have done masters in pol science, but they are doing sociology, maybe work that is political in nature, because they are bringing law, or they are bringing quantitative methods, and they are approaching sociology, or they might have a degree that is sociology, but their thesis is talking about a political topic or subject. So these are not harsh boundaries also, sometimes, not always. So anyway, I think now we should end. It's been long. We only wanted the session to be till 5 p.m., but we extended it. So thank you. I would like to thank Revamp and the kind of work they're doing for giving us this platform to address these things. I would like to thank Ile Kumar, who's doing great work. Ile is someone who's really thriving to create education that is accessible for all, and it's focuses on positive education. It's for those who are
Mm.
truly marginalized in nature. So to appreciating and creating more avenues for all of
Happy.
you. And in future, if you can guide someone else, do that. Keep forwarding the system of knowledge production and helping someone else with your knowledge. Otherwise, knowledge is really pointless if you're not able to uplift each other as well. So on that note, thank you, Rajashekar, and Ile
No,
Kumar, and
just
all of you. Best of you.
one final thing I would like to say.
Yeah, sorry,
Rajashekar
got
has been
understood.
lost on the final thing.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sainal, for initiating this. I'm so sorry, Rajashekar, we couldn't able to do it in prayer because we all stuck with the CUT UG work, which till today we are doing it. I don't know how
Can
long it will
can you
take.
hear me?
Yes,
Sorry
yes,
for the interruption.
yeah, yeah. So I'm
So
saying
yeah,
that I'm
before
sorry that
before
yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute. I'm saying I'm
yes, go
sorry
ahead.
for not coordinating this in prayer because we were into the CUT UG and other things we are preparing for a camp. So actually, I'm so much thankful to Shainal for coordinating this instantly and doing it so that a lot of students from different universities, kind of getting a chance to interact with you all and to get clarified their doubts. So thank you, Rajashekar, and thank you, Shainal. Yeah, yeah, go ahead, please go ahead.
Yeah, so like before starting, I just want to say some of them, like most of you are aware that it is entrance is happening twice in a year. Okay, so we have June session and we have December session. And please don't get disheartened if you are not getting admission. Keep trying. We are here to help you. Keep trying. And I have just shared my details. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. We'll help you there. That's it from our thanks for this time and opportunity. We'll keep to thrive together and get excel in our life. Okay, so that's it.